It is Wednesday, November 27th. I am Geoff Schwartz. That is Matt Ford. This is Geoff Schwartz of Smart You, presented by Greg Morris Cards, our friends that like to check out the price and check out how much a card of yours is worth. Check out Greg Morris Cards. We'll talk more about them, Matt, in a little bit. We've had him on our show now for a couple of weeks. Make sure to look at the QR code on our YouTube or our social media accounts and scan that to learn more about Greg Morris Cards. Matt brought some cards today. Also, too, after the show taping last week, my son, we were out at Dick's Sporting Goods. And he said to me, free read, obviously for Dick's, I don't know. You can sponsor our show if you want. He said, Dick, I get a pack of cards. I'm into cards now. So he's not a listener to Geoff Schwartz Smart You. Maybe he should be, Matt. So we have to take his cards over to Greg Morris and see what they're worth. I bought him an entire box, like 7 packs of cards, Matt.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's very cool.
just unprompted.
Nice
So
work, Alex.
the good news is we're early this week because there are games all over the NFL calendar: Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and Monday. I think every team this weekend, Matt, is up. Maybe if you have a bye, I don't know, but we're going to cover all the games because there's some games I mentioned on Thanksgiving. But also, Matt, we were 4-1 last week. We're digging
You were.
ourselves out of the hole. For those who might think, and you're not wrong, oh, you picked the 49ers. We did. That was before Brock Purdy got hurt. And we have made this disclaimer many times on this show that we have the right to change a pick up until about Sunday. We normally just do it on Friday. I put it on social media, the change that we made, which was to the Bears, who luckily got home at 3.5. That number was 3 on Sunday. So we did make that change. If you guys, that's always a disclaimer. Injury news comes out. We're not changing any picks for any other reason, just injury news. And Brock Purdy was going to play, then didn't play, Matt. So we changed that fairly quickly. But 4-1 week, 28, 31-1 now. So we're off to it's okay. It's going okay. We need to be better though, but we're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, dude, we're turning it around. I think we had an interesting week. I felt like we were kind of on it. I mean, the Purdy thing, yeah, we'd made that decision off the air. Apologies if you were if you were trailing us there.
You
But
still would have had a
hopefully
winning week though. Still been 3-2.
still had a winning week. We
Yeah.
also we weren't cowards. We didn't then just take the other side of the number that we got. We actually took our next favorite bet, which I was proud of, and that one covered too. So tough one if you had Bears +3. There were a couple of +3s out there. I had a few of those in some legs of parlays, and I was a little disappointed in that push. Um, but shall we? Shall we discuss? It sounds like the breaking news of this morning was Daniel Jones has a new team, right?
He does, the Minnesota Vikings, which is what we sort of talked about possibly happening, right? Going to a contender. I'm surprised he chose this one. I'm kind of curious if he thought this was maybe an in-between where if Darnold doesn't play well down the stretch, he might get a chance to play a little bit, Matt. I'm sure there were other teams that were options where he really wasn't going to play at all. And this offense, though, to be fair, Shanahan offense, right? The Kevin O'Connell offense does wonders for quarterbacks. So maybe just playing with a team with an offensive line. I know they're missing Darisaw, haven't been quite as good offensively without Darisaw. But you have Justin Jefferson and you have the running backs and you have the tight end and you have the defense. It's just an easier spot for him just to be a backup.
Yeah, and it sounds like Darnold's a free agent next year, right? So he'll probably go. I kind of like this spot. I mean, Darnold hasn't been totally healthy, I feel like the last couple of weeks, so I feel like he might end up playing wouldn't it be funny if he ended up playing in the playoffs or the only team he ever beat in the playoffs would be kind of ironic. Uh
Yes.
it sounded like he had a shot with the Raiders, according to some
Yeah,
reports.
good. Good he didn't take that shot. That would have been dumb.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. That's a bit of a train wreck. Train wreck that we might be betting on this week. Dun dun dun. Let's talk about
Oh,
Thanksgiving,
jeez.
Jeff. The first game, the Bears are at the Lions. The Lions are laying either 10 or 10.5, and I kind of like the Lions.
Okay, so one thing to note, favorites on Thanksgiving are very good wagers. They cover a lot of games on Thanksgiving. I don't know the reason why, but they do. And we have Matt wagered against the Lions so many times this season. Are we finally gonna lay the 10 with them? Is this the week to do it? I don't, oh, geez, man. Because I like another one on Thanksgiving too. So I don't want to have too many on Thanksgiving, but obviously that's sort of the way the schedule breaks down. So you like Detroit here. Let's hear the reason why.
Well, I mean, the first reason is that what Detroit's doing, I mean, yes, we took the other side of them last week. I like the 10, first of all. Um, Chicago, this isn't really a Chicago play. It's basically just the Lions are a very sustainable
Yeah,
offense where they can very easily just grind it out on running the ball. Like they could be up 7 with a few minutes left and just run, 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 run. Um, I just think that I think on the short week, the Bears have just had this like crazy run of losses. I can't imagine they're like super up for this game. Detroit will be. They lost in a surprise game on Thanksgiving last year to the Packers. Um, I just think Detroit is miles better than the Bears are. The
I
Bears
agree.
also are good for a special teams mistake every week that's going to cost them 3 points at least. Um, so I just think, the Lions will be excited to take care of business. They do not mind running them out of the gym.
No.
Um, it's a big number, and the Bears have been playing a little bit better. It's not my favorite, but of the Thanksgiving games, I actually it's not even my favorite Thanksgiving game, but I think it's on the list.
Oh, we have a favorite Thanksgiving game together. It might be the same one. I'm interested to
It's
find out now. It's
yeah.
not this. I don't think it's the next game. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Oh no, it's not. But I do like a side in this. The Giants are +3.5 in Dallas. Um,
Oh,
Dallas, this opened quite a bit higher, I guess, before the Dak injury. But I'm curious. I mean, I kind of think the Giants are the side here, right?
uh, I don't know, man. The side I think is just taking Malik Neighbors over his props because they're going to force feed him the ball this week after complaining he didn't get the ball on Sunday. Like that's the play of this game. Is just taking Malik Neighbors over receptions, over yards, and because they're going to find ways to give him the ball early in this game, Matt. But the Giants are really, really bad. Now you watched the Cowboys Commanders game. I'm sorry, I was at the Chiefs Panthers game. And I was watching some football during breaks and halftime, and then we were texting. I didn't see that in the Commanders. We were texting about it. You said, "Oh my God, the Commanders!" And then you said, "Oh no, they missed the PAT." It was quite a run for you. But I mean, Dallas,
Not great.
did they win that game or did Washington lose that game? How are they feeling a couple days later? I just think the Giants, Matt, are really, really bad. And I think they're worse than the Cowboys. Um, but I don't really have a strong play on it. You like the Giants?
I mean, this number was a little bit higher. I think this was 4.5 yesterday, so I like it less.
Yeah.
But everyone's like Dallas had a good game. Like I think that it's a little bit of that just dead cat bounce situation. Like Cooper Rush is 4-1 against Washington. It was a crazy game. They should have lost. If Seibert makes 2 extra points, this is probably like a 1.5 point line.
Yeah.
Um, so and instead, I think everyone's like Dallas, like they could make the playoffs. They're back. And you mentioned that favorites do well on Thanksgiving. Dallas doesn't. It's because everyone loves the Cowboys and loves to bet on the Cowboys every year. So I think the Giants are the side, but I'm not dying to do it. They're clearly the worst team, and like what a mess that team is. And watching Saquon Barkley potentially win the MVP could backfire on us. So I'm fine to leave this one out.
Okay. Yeah. Let's leave it out. The next one's interesting because I have a play in this one. I'm curious if we have the same one.
I think we do. It's the Dolphins are at Green Bay. This game is 8:20 Eastern Thursday. Packers by 3 is the line.
There are threes right now.
There's a 3. I'm looking at one.
Well, then let's just gobble that three up there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Um, okay, so this is not really honestly about that Tua can't play in the cold. Um, it's more the Packers are really good. Matt, I think that if you would ask people the hierarchy of the NFC, right? They go Lions, obviously, right? They would say Eagles. Right behind them is the Packers. They're 8-3. And yes, they have won some games by a field goal. But they've also beaten the Cardinals by a lot. They beat the playoff bound Texans, whatever you think of the Texans, like they're playoff bound, right? They're going to make the playoffs. Um, they lost the line to get that, and they freaking smoked the 49ers in a Niners must-win game. They ran the ball right at them, which the Dolphins' run defense is not great. And the Packers defense, the way that they pressure and the way that they sort of manipulate a quarterback's eyes, I think does not play well for Tua. And yes, the cold thing does matter, right? They aren't as good, in the cold as they need to be, and it's going to be very cold on Thursday night. So I like Packers here plus, excuse me, minus the 3. I'm with you, 100%.
Done. Lock it in. It's nice to have at least one game on Thanksgiving too.
Yes.
I just feel like it's I don't know. It's a way
I
to
will
get
be
through
playing
that day.
those neighbors props though in that Giants game though.
Yeah, that's a good play. Do you know he has like 100 and he has like over 100 targets and like 600 yards. It's just like the strangest season I think I've ever seen a wide receiver have.
Neighbors.
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna
have him.
actually
I have an over 850. I think prop for him this season. I think he'll get there. I think he'll be fine there.
he I mean, I'll look it up while
Yeah,
we're
103 targets. Wow.
103 targets, but he's like I think he's like 11th in yards or something. It's just absolutely
Yeah.
insane. All right, moving on to the Black Friday game. Such a weird thing, and it's the Chiefs of all teams. They're 12.5 point home favorites to Aiden O'Connell's Raiders. The Chiefs aren't going to cover that, but the question is, are we willing to stomach it?
No, no. I mean, no, I don't think so. Um,
The
I'll tell you
Raiders are
what.
just terrible, man.
The one thing that's interesting about this game, Matt, and you're right, the Chiefs never cover these games, is they seem like actually upset after that game on Sunday.
Yeah.
They're up 20-6. They were rolling, and the Panthers scored 3 points before the half, and then scored a touchdown on a 9-minute drive to start the second half. It became a game again, and they seem visibly angry that they didn't blow this team out. And I do wonder if that plays a role in the way that they try to finish the Raiders game, where it's just like, can we get a blowout for once, please? Can we just blow a bad team out? I don't know if it changes much, but their attitude after this game was certainly different than other wins they've had. Where, I mean, Andy Reid in the locker room was like, guys, keep your head up. And
Yeah.
that's simply what you say when you lose, not when you win.
Yeah, that was interesting. And then Mahomes did the like, it'd be nice to win
Blow
a
someone
blowout
out.
once in a while.
Yeah.
And I was sort of like, well, if only we could find the guy who was in charge of the Chiefs offense to put up some points.
They
That's
scored
weird.
30 though last game. That's the thing. They
Yeah.
should have blown him out.
But Bryce Young looked great.
He
And
looked
I
great. Yeah.
heard our friend Chris Raymond, I was listening to him and he compared him to, he said he could have a career like Jared Goff, which I thought was really interesting. Like Jared Goff had a really bad first year. Then he became this like ultra efficient passer in a good offense. And obviously now his career is a
Yeah.
lot different. Obviously, Jared Goff is like 6'6", and Bryce Young is
Yeah.
shorter than I am. But like that was an interesting comp. I don't think anyone's sort of like made that trajectory comp yet.
No, probably not. But I do think that the Chiefs we could it's not a Chiefs podcast, but the Chiefs pass defense is a problem. So that's
Hmm.
something to concern yourself with later in the season, I think. Not this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, they just weren't up for that game. You could tell. Like Chris Jones didn't record a stat. Like he does when it matters.
Correct.
All right. So we're gonna pass on that. There's a 13 out there for the Raiders at DraftKings. Man.
But too bad 5 downs doesn't it's not anymore. You could do the 14-point teaser.
Yeah, I would definitely take the 27 for the Raiders.
So would
The
I.
Chiefs haven't won a game by 2 touchdowns all season, so that just
It's
food
been
for
years
thought.
since they won a game at 2 touchdowns. Jeez.
Yeah, I think you played for them. Uh, all right, moving to Sunday now. Let's see. No teams on bye this week, so a full slate. The first Sunday game I have is it's Seahawks at Jets. The Jets are
Ooh,
home dogs, plus
man.
2.
Um,
Ugh, don't make me do
so
it.
no, no, we're not going to do it. Because the Jets don't cover any games because they don't win any of these games, Matt. They're a wreck
No.
right now. The stories leaking out are bad. I just saw a report Brees Hall didn't practice on today, Wednesday. Tyron Smith, the left tackle, is probably out for the season, going to injured reserve. Um, I don't like the vibes there, but Seattle is a bipolar team, man. And we were on them last week. That was the right call, but game to game, I have no faith in what they're going to play like. And I'm not taking them on the road in this spot. So I think we pass on this game.
Yeah, I think we do too. Um, yeah, I just the play is obviously the Jets, and I can't do it. There's just too much going on there. Uh, Interesting. Steelers at Bengals. The Bengals
Just
are 3 point home favorites.
let me get my pen right here and just
Yep, okay.
mark it on down just because we have to.
Yep.
All righty. Pittsburgh +3 into
I
the
knew we
bank.
weren't going to have to talk about this one much.
No, I mean we do this dumb thing. It's not dumb because we make money, but but like you bet on Tomlin when he's a dog and you fade him when he's a favorite. It's kind of simple. 2 weeks ago we do a show Friday, Matt. I know we do. We would have had Browns +3.5, whatever that number was. Like that would have
100%.
been in our thing. I was looking at it today. I think it's 81% covering when he's a divisional dog. 81% is a divisional
It's
dog.
unbelievable, man. And just
And
do that after a loss. It's probably even higher.
probably, and think about this game though, right? From an X and O's perspective. Bengals defense is good. Excuse me, Bengals offense is really good. But Burrow has thrown a lot of interceptions against Pittsburgh and been pressured a lot against Pittsburgh, right? Their defensive line controls a lot of these games. And so you don't sort of see the same Bengals offense. On the flip side, the Bengals defense stinks, man. They're not any good. And I'm not sure Pittsburgh's offense is great, but they do a couple things well. And more importantly, there's many reasons for this, okay? But look at the Bengals, okay? 4 wins this year. Panthers, Giants, Browns, Raiders. Their losses, Chiefs, Commanders, Ravens twice, Chargers, and Eagles. All the good teams they play, they lose. Now, there's many reasons for that, Matt. It's not some singular fault of someone. You flip a play here and there and you win that game. But they keep losing these games. So give me Pittsburgh +3. Don't think much about it. Just put it in our pocket as we always do when Tomlin's is underdog.
Yep. Nothing super substantive to add to that. I think this is it's also, remember, they get the extended rest. They're off a loss, another back-to-back divisional games.
I think Bengals are off a bye though.
Yeah, but still, it's not like a significant rest
correct,
advantage.
yes,
It's
correct,
like
yes.
4 extra days. So
Yeah.
I think I like Pittsburgh here. I think Pittsburgh, and also like that was pretty fluky loss for Pittsburgh. Like that's
Yes.
fine. You want to buy them off of that because that was a very unique game. Looking to our next game here, Colts at Patriots. The Colts were a team we bet on last week. They are road favorites in New England this week. Can we please just not even think about this game for 1 second?
No, we don't have to do it. We could just skip it. There's no interest in this game whatsoever. I mean, you would think the Colts would be a bigger favorite. I think they're telling you these teams are pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they are, unfortunately for us, but I think the Colts are the better team. And I think the Patriots did get a little bit exposed finally last week, but I just don't see an edge in this one.
No.
All right, Daniel Jones's Vikings are 3.5-point home favorites to the Cardinals. We're still in the early window on Sunday. 3.5 points for this one. Interesting. Do you have a side?
I mean, I would lean Cardinals. I don't think it's Vikings in this spot. But do you have a lean? I don't really have much on this one.
No, I don't either. I don't either. I feel
Sure,
like
the three. Just remember on the 3.5, by the way, that you might think to yourself, take the hook and the dog, but the books are telling you actually take the 3.5.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
a backwards thinking sometimes. I know it feels weird to say that, but I don't have much of this one.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to end up being like a pretty low scoring game that has a lot of weird stuff happen in it, because that's kind of how these two teams go. I think we just lay off of this one.
I think so too.
Speaking of layoffs, my Commanders 5.5-point favorites to the Titans. Titans, everyone's darling. They just knocked off the Texans last week.
Great call last week, buddy. Great call on that one.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
Nailed it.
That we could have taken that one on the money line and probably should have pushed for that. But yeah, I don't know. Which team do you believe in less in this game?
So I've seen some form of this tweet this week. What happened to the Commanders' offense? What's the reason for it? Cliff Kingsbury. This is this reason. It's every reason. Every single time he's coaching somewhere. We do this all the time. Why is a Kingsbury team suck at the end of the season versus when they're good at the start of the season? It's Kingsbury every time. Texas Tech, Arizona, they're worse at the back half of every single season he has coached in, Matt. So no surprise here that the Commanders' offense, now certainly Daniel's a little beat up and whatnot, but no surprise. They get figured out and they make no adjustment because Kingsbury is sort of a one-track coach. He's not great at the adjustments.
Yeah, there's like fans are doing things like, if everybody has that one fan base where they're like plugged in and their algo feeds them like every doofus's tweets. Mine are like, watch this. Like Terry McLaurin never lines up on the right side of the field. And everyone's
Correct.
like, what? Like, what does that mean? And it's like, oh, they literally like don't move anybody around. A little bit strange.
Except for the touchdown pass where he wasn't the right
Yeah,
side.
except for the touchdown pass, which was like the most unbelievable. It's like the second most unbelievable play of Daniel's season. What a year for him. I think Washington is going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be by more than 6. And I think that I think that the loss last week, I mentioned Cooper Rush. He just kind of like has done well against Washington for whatever reason. Like the Ravens lost to the Raiders. Like the Chiefs almost lost to the Panthers. Like everybody who's now like
Yeah,
Dallas is back and Washington sucks. Like everybody calm down. Like that
I
Washington's
I, I
gonna
agree.
they're gonna win this game and they're gonna be 8-5 with a bye, and then it's gonna be like an interesting couple of weeks to make the playoffs. So I believe in Dan Quinn to get this one turned around, but I do not love them laying 6. Um, enough of that game. The team that the Titans beat last week, the Texans, are 4-point road favorites in Jacksonville. You can
Ooh,
get Jacksonville plus
this,
4.5.
this makes me my.
Ugh.
You heard that groan? I'm just like, oh no. I
Yeah, we
mean,
can't do
it's
that.
Jacksonville or bust. I'll put them in the maybes because I think you sort of have to because we don't have a lot right now. Um,
Yeesh.
but I'll put. I mean, my favorite bet's still on the board. I don't know if you have a favorite bet still. So like we also have a couple to put in here, but we don't have a lot right now.
No. There's some good games left.
It's basically that the Texans like just I think are just not very good. I mean, they're just okay. And Jacksonville just stinks so bad. They're off a bye. No one wants to win in that organization.
No. The only thing that what's who's the quarterback? Is Lawrence playing or is it Jones?
Does it matter?
It kind of does. Because I feel like if Trevor Lawrence starts, then I feel like they're at least gonna like take it seriously. But if it's
I,
Mac
I haven't
Jones,
seen. I haven't seen. I think they're saying the same thing, like day to day type of thing. But
oh,
let me look it
interesting.
up.
He practiced. He will practice today as of Wednesday morning.
Yeah,
This tweet was an hour ago. All right, that I think 4.5. It has my attention. We can put it in the
yeah.
movies.
It's a maybes.
Um, man, Texans, what a strange year. Where are you at on them? Do you think they can turn this around in
Um,
time for the playoffs or no?
no, but I tell you one pretty fun anecdote about this. Well, no, they're going to win the division. But one fun anecdote about this is I can sort of get frustrated with film Twitter sometimes, Matt, because they have a hard time moving off their priors. Where like opinion, like I make opinions, right? I'm an opinionist, like a guy like that does radio all the time. Like we have opinions and we just move off of them if they change. Like if I said like I'm high on the Commanders and they don't play well, I'm like, oh well, new data's come in. They haven't played well. I'm gonna change my opinion on them. But they're just people like Stroud is not playing as well, and the people defending him they're just like can't be his fault. Everyone else's fault, but Stroud. No, I mean it's kind of his fault. It's not playing as well. There are reasons, but it's more than just himself, clearly. But like the film guys are like, nope, nope, we said he's great. And he surely is a good football player, man. I'm not denying that. But this happens all over film Twitter, right? Where these guys declare someone good and bad, and they never change their priors on them for years. And it's like, just as new data comes in, you're allowed to change your opinion on guys.
Yep. I was thinking about this with how people have reacted to Jaden Daniels, where everyone's like, nah, he's like, Bo Nix is the rookie of the year. And it's like, it's because no one expected anything from Bo Nix.
Correct.
And Jaden Daniels had like the best start to a career of anyone in history. And everyone's like, oh, see, that wasn't real. It's like, no, it was real. And this Bo Nix is good. Like he's pretty good. But can we like adjust our opinions over time? Like I still feel I feel like our guy Justin Herbert gets a lot of free breaks because he was sort of like this surprise of like, oh wow, we didn't think he was
Oh,
going to be this good,
oh,
and now he's awesome.
I woke up, I went to bed Sunday night before the game ended, and I woke up to that text from you saying, like, Justin Herbert, again, Justin Herbert's not his fault
It's
they
so
lost.
crazy. Like he lost another game. How
Yeah,
bizarre.
but to be
Let's
fair, his wide receiver did drop 4 passes that were right in his hands.
of course, there's the evidence. Like no one else has any drops ever, right? No one else. He can't possibly be blamed. He has like two absolute studs on the offensive line. He's got a great running game. He's got a great coach. He's got a great defense. And what do you know? They lost again in another game that mattered. Like so weird. Why don't we talk about the Chargers? They're 2 to 2.5 point favorites in Atlanta. Uh, this is the
Yeah,
last game of the early window.
I would be okay being on the Chargers in this one, by the way.
Why?
The
What do you
Falcons,
like? What do people like about this
the
team? Like,
Falcons, well, because they play defense and they can run the ball and control tempos of games. The Falcons, no, it's more of the Falcons I think just stink. I am not high on the Falcons at all. Like I took Tampa Bay to win the division at plus 260 yesterday or something like that. I mean, I
hmm,
just I don't know if Falcons are any good. The Falcons right now, and look, DVOA is not the be all end all. They're 19th. Like they're not, they're 25th on defense. but they're 26th on special teams.
Yeah.
They're not a good team. They're an average team. They're in the group of teams that are like fighting to make a wild card spot, right? The Rams, the Colts, the Dolphins are right now. The Dolphins are a little skewed because Tua didn't play, but the Saints are right there. The Bengals. I mean, these are teams fighting for playoff berths, and I just don't like the Falcons. It's more of an anti-Falcons than anything else.
I hear you. I mean, they're coming off the bye. They have, I mean, they're a very streaky team, right? Like they got absolutely pummeled by Denver, but a couple weeks ago, like they had some like gutty wins against like the Bucks. I mean, I guess they've gotten blown out by some decent teams here, huh? They
Seahawks,
lost to
lost
Seattle
the
by
Saints.
20. They had that
Yeah,
close game
they're
against the
not good.
Falcon or the Chiefs. They're like this very up and down team. I think this is more just I got to get around my Justin Herbert hate and just
Oh
say like they're
no, we can
I,
skip it. But I'm
I
saying
just
like
I don't know. I don't think the Chargers are
we
worth
can we
laying
can
points
skip
on a
it.
short week on the road against a team that's a playoff contender. I just
We can
don't see
certainly
it.
we can skip it.
All right. I'm glad I got that off my chest. I'll have the internet will tell me more and more how great Justin Herbert is. Win a fucking playoff game, dude. All right. Why don't should we take a little pause here
Uh,
and before we get to the late games, I mean?
oh yeah, we should. Yeah. The Justin Herbert slander is just
Just telling you
incredible.
what my
I,
eyeballs
I
see.
I
That's
love
all.
it so much. You
Just
just hate Oregon.
reporting.
Oregon beats Maryland one time, and all of a sudden you just hate Oregon. All of a sudden, it's okay. Everyone does. But what we don't hate,
I love Mariota, my guy.
he, you're right. He's your guy now. Backup quarterback for the Commanders. What we don't hate, by the way, is Greg Morris Cards, and we're sponsored here at the Geoff Schwartz Smart You podcast by Greg Morris Cards. Everyone's looking for a few extra bucks around the holidays. Well, what if you're sitting on money you didn't even know about? My friends at Greg Morris Cards are the leaders in vintage sports cards, can help you turn the sports cards collecting into real money. They're sitting in your house right now. You can look on the screen, YouTube, social media, hit the QR code on the screen to get more information from them. I know, Matt, you have sports cards. You talked to Greg Morris Cards. What did you learn?
Yeah, well, I actually am going to take my advantage of my platform here, Jeff. I want to show you some of these.
Okay.
Like I have some of my cards that I've been saying have been sitting around. Like some of these are pretty cool. I'm going to show you this one.
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing, Barcelona. Let me move it from the
Over your
QR code here.
face. There you go.
The
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Look at
wow.
that. Like
A
this has
dream
got to be
team Patrick
worth some
Ewing.
money, right? Like this is like
Yeah.
a really cool, it's
It's
in
a good
good
condition
condition.
too.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna send some of these out. I have more Dream Team cards, which is bizarre. Like this one of Scottie Pippen, which is pretty
Okay.
cool. How about this one, Jeff? Pete Sampras. You don't see a
Wow.
tennis card too often, right?
No.
How about that? Pete
Okay.
Sampras.
How have you
Love
kept
Pete
these?
Sampras.
How have you kept these in such good condition over the years?
Because I'm a dorky dude. How about that? Could that be the reason?
That's a fair enough answer. I
Here's
won't.
this one. This was from when Magic Johnson came back, and this is from a Christmas collection. This is a Hallmark
Wow.
basketball card. How about that?
Yeah,
That's
you can
pretty one
tell
of a
he
kind, right?
you can tell he hadn't played basketball in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, but that's true actually. But these are some cool ones. So I'll price those out with Greg Morris and the team after the holiday. But
I
they've
love
been
it so
great to work
much.
with. We're big fans of them. They're right here in Santa Monica. So go check them out online or if you're a local somewhere nearby.
And just like Matt, you guys have sports cards laying around. You can find out what they're worth by contacting Greg Morris Cards. They will help you earn the most for your cards. Turn your card collection into real money today. Give me the QR code on the screen or visit Greg Morris Cards. Again, the QR code is on the screen. For those who are listening audio, just go to Greg Morris Cards. You can search them on social media and on whatever search app you use. It's just Google, right? I mean, no one's using like Alta Vista anymore, right? There's no Yahoo
Shout out Bing
search.
Hive.
Is there Bing? There's a hot. Who is someone I'm sure has a Hotmail account still.
Yeah.
But you have a Hotmail account still?
No.
Okay, yeah, that was
MSN. I
in
feel like that one you
college.
see once in a while.
And
Look at this one.
AOL still.
Mark McGuire? What are we doing here? I gotta get some money for these. Mark
You
McGuire.
absolutely do. You
Yeah.
absolutely do. Well, let's go back to making some money, hopefully, for our listeners here, Matt. Got a few more games here that I think we have our eye on for. We only got two yeses so far, so and only two maybes. So we got to find some more games we like here. I like a couple of these here down the stretch.
Yeah, here might be one of them. The Rams are 3-point road favorites in New Orleans playing the Saints. I think
Oh,
it would be Rams or bust for me here, but curious what's
oh,
happening right
I had
now.
not thought about this one. So you Rams are bust here. Okay, do you have a reason?
Yeah, the reason is the Saints, like what would this number have been if the Saints hadn't won those two stupid games in a row with this make-believe interim coach? Like, I just think the Rams, the Eagles are good, right? Like, the Eagles are
Yeah.
just a solid team. I don't think they've been given quite enough credit this year. The Rams are one of these teams that's like sort of right in the middle, but they can get after you, right? Like, they can absolutely just jump up on the scoreboard and you look and you go like, oh man, what happened? Uh, Sean McVay way, way better as a favorite in the past, especially off a loss. You don't, we learn our lesson the hard way sometimes not to take him as a dog, but when he's supposed to win, he does. So I don't mind this one. I'm not going to stand on the table for it, but in a world where we're like looking at the rest of the schedule and go like, we need some games, I wouldn't mind the Rams.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I'm anytime I can fade Derek Carr, I'm totally in for it. So,
Yeah.
I not thought about this one. I'll how much you like it a lot?
I don't know if let's put it in the maybes. I'm not
Okay,
saying let's not in the Pittsburgh and Green Bay categories.
okay, perfect. Okay,
All right, moving on. Two amazing games coming up here. The first one is the Eagles at the Ravens. The Ravens are 3-point favorites.
yeah,
What side are you on here?
I'm on nothing.
Yeah.
I nothing. I think that I think either team could win this game by three, Matt. Like it's not to me. There's no edge, right? Like if this game came down to a game-winning field goal, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I think I think the Eagles are better than the Ravens, um, but they're on the road, which doesn't. I don't know if it matters that much in the NFL in this specific spot. Ravens on a short week off a win. They're 9-2, 8-4 Ravens. I think it's about right. I think the number three is about right. I think they're either way, field goal either way, Matt, would be what the game is, and I don't have a strong lean either way. Do you?
It's hard to put your flag in the ground on this one because the Ravens, I think the Eagles are better than the Ravens. I just think they are. I think they have more ways to beat you. If AJ Brown is on the field, that offense is really tough to stop. But we haven't had like an Eagles coach-led meltdown in a while, right? Like they've had this like really good,
Yeah.
strong run of games, and they haven't like shot themselves in the foot in a good bit. Um, and the Ravens are one of those teams, if they jump up in front of you, like Philly, like you're kind of toast. So I I think this is a good pass by us. Like there's part of me that thinks we should just take the Eagles, but that is the public side. So I think it's probably smart to just lay off and enjoy that one.
I agree. I got nothing on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The Sunday night game.
No,
What?
we missed one.
Oh, we did? What did I miss? Oh,
Is
I
that,
did miss one. One I actually liked. So sorry. This one is before the 4:30
oh,
game.
what side do you like here? Please tell me
Bucks
it's the right.
Panthers.
Please tell me what. Please tell me you like the side that I like.
Well, why don't you go?
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm good with
Oh,
that.
okay, great.
We're getting 5.5. There's a six. The six is where it's gonna land. Probably by the time you hear this, if you're listening in the next couple days. But there is a 5.5 right now for Tampa.
So same case I made last week. I think Tampa's really good, and they're playing for the NFC South, and they went on the road and kicked the shit out of the Giants. Excuse my language. The Panthers looked better last week, but back-to-back weeks hosting playoff teams off an emotional sort of home loss when you thought you could beat the Chiefs, and here comes Tampa Bay, man. Mike Evans is back. That offense is different with a wide receiver. And I think this Tampa's good, Matt. The case I made for them this week was the fact that they played four straight playoff teams in a row, and they were due for a game like they had last weekend. So I like Tampa again. I mean, look, this game very much could be 27-17. Like it wouldn't surprise me, right? 27-14. 30 points again for Tampa. Tampa Bay had what 27 points at halftime? 30 points at halftime, like 23.
Yeah.
I think it was 23 nothing. They scored immediately. It was 30 nothing early third quarter. 30-14 feels like a final score in this game. I like Tampa a lot in this one.
Yeah, I do too. Credit to Carolina for hanging tough and getting a good bump here after that, because I do feel like they're much more respected than they were this time last week by playing the Chiefs close. That was a nice moral victory for them, and now they are playing a team that is very much capable of blowing out bad teams. We've seen it multiple times this season. And even some good teams that they actually beat down pretty good, including Philly. So I like this one. I think the Panthers are going to be everybody's like sharp play. Everybody's going to say like they're actually kind of good, like their offensive line's kind of good, like whatever. I just think that Tampa Bay can easily get in front of this team and start to skate. We see that their rushing game has a new dimension. Like Bucky Irving
Yeah,
looked awesome. They have a
agreed.
ton of guys who can just grind out the clock if they need to. And Carolina's defense might be getting healthier, but I don't buy it. I think Tampa's the right side in this.
Agreed.
All right, nice. Moving to Sunday Night Football,
Oh
49ers
boy.
at Bills. What could have been.
Uh,
The Bills, go ahead. Bills are laying 7.
yeah, it's Buffalo, right?
I think it's Buffalo. I wish there was still a 6.5 out there. Maybe let me take a look.
Like here's the thing. The
Oh, there
Niners,
is one. FanDuel.
I imagine the Niners stayed out on the East Coast this week after playing the in Green Bay, but they just sort of are dead. Now the question is this number baked into Brock Purdy playing or not playing? This isn't baked if he's not playing, right?
I assume so. I mean, I think that people are just now so cautious with the Niners. Like, people have really gotten burned by them this year with the Christian McCaffrey thing and just the way that they've treated all their big injuries. So I'm assuming this is a Purdy is not playing line. Uh,
The
but like
problem is
even
if he does play, we're gonna get like four on Sunday.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I mean, we have enough that we don't need this one.
But are we certain that the Bills can't beat them by 7, even if Purdy plays? They're off a bye. It's a cold weather game. There's a chance of snow this weekend in Buffalo. And what do we say about Buffalo all the time? They beat the dog piss out of bad teams, man.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They've won 6 in a row now. I like them anyways. I mean, night game, Niners on the road again, cold game. Buffalo off a bye. Niners off a physical Packers game. Like the schedule just favors the Bills in this spot too, right?
It does. And like so Milano has come back to practice. It's possible that Coleman and Kincaid could come back. Buffalo's off the bye. They had a ton of rest after this very huge win against Kansas City, obviously. If Trent Williams and Nick Bosa and Charvarius Ward, like and Brock Purdy all play, all of whom missed last week, they're not going to be 100%. This is Sunday night game in the freezing cold
Yeah,
where their backs are against the wall. And I just don't think the Niners have enough juice. Like they don't have like everybody on their team who matters is hurt, and this is what happens to them. And
yeah,
you talked about the expectations thing. Like, can we just use our eyes? Like this team is not a touchdown worse than Buffalo. They're much worse.
I know.
If Purdy plays, then we could look back on this and feel like we missed, but
Yeah.
I'm willing to at least put it in the next round.
This the hard part I put in that round is like we're gonna have these these standalone games that I don't like always wager on those games, but because we got Green Bay now, it's Thanksgiving, obviously a little different. We like Buffalo, and I'll tell you what, buddy, I love a side in the next game.
Oh, interesting. All right, Cleveland at Denver. Denver laying 5.5 on Monday Night Football.
Sign me up for the Broncos, buddy.
All
Um,
right,
let
cool. Let's
let's
do
talk
it.
about let's talk about the Browns here for a second, okay? We bet on the Browns a lot this season. They're as
Yeah.
bipolar as they come, right? They come off a bye in New Orleans, get their butt swept, like get crushed off a bye in New Orleans. They come back and play great first half against Pittsburgh, and then turn the ball over 3 times second half of that game. They had no business winning that game, Matt. They were terrible in the second half of that game. Now they're on the road against Denver is good. Like it's time to admit, like Denver is 10th in DVOA. They're a good football team. They're fourth on defense. They're going to not let Jameis Winston throw the football. Like, who's going to throw the ball to in this game? How are they going to run the football in this game? Jameis
Yeah.
Winston is due for a bad interception in this game, bad play in this game. And then I know Denver's offense behind Bo Nix is efficient. They move the ball down the field without turning the ball over. And Cleveland's defense is just like, man, they're just like, okay. They're not great. They rush the passer well, absolutely. But the way Sean Payton has this Broncos team rolling right now, um, with their defense and to take care of the ball and run the ball and easy passes for Bo Nix, I like Denver a lot in this game.
It's funny. I hadn't considered this, but I'm in, man. Let's do it. Um, all right. I
We
think
have
we have
four.
four we like.
Yeah, so the four we like are um, Green Bay -3, Pittsburgh +3, Tampa Bay -5.5, Denver -5.5. Do I have that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And and the other ones we said maybe. Detroit I wrote +10. That's a -10. Let me make that quick correction there. I would take the Lions +10. I would probably have to lay 900 to make that happen. Um, Jags is out. Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Um,
Jags.
Rams or Bills?
I mean, going against Derek Carr isn't a bad thing.
Do we just do the Lions and say they're just rolling right now and just take them? Or is that like too easy?
I mean, dude, getting the 10, I don't hate it. Like it's been 10 and a half. I feel like there's sharp people on the Bears, and that kind of I'm kind of not scared. Like,
The Bears defense is the best defense the Lions have played for a little bit. How the
but
Bears can
their
score though?
weakness is the run game. Like they're decent at getting after the passer, and they have a good secondary, but they like you can run on the Bears. They've
How,
given
how
up
about
like
oh, how about this? A Chad Millman Lions -10. Wow.
uh the
Stucky though went Bears, a little action network, like a little showdown there.
wow, nice plug for our friends there. Uh let's see. Chicago's last three games they've given up 125 rushing yards per game. Uh that's let's see, in the bottom 10 in the league. They've played some they haven't exactly like played a bunch of like running powerhouses, but it does seem like didn't Ramondre Stevenson have like a really good game
Yeah,
against
he
them?
did. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Washington ran against them. Connor destroyed them against Arizona. This could just this is a tough matchup for I'm fine with taking Detroit and we can go 2-0 on Thanksgiving. I don't mind that.
So what if we? It's like what if are we gonna look back and I'm gonna be making that turkey and we're gonna look back and Detroit's up 24 points and we're like, why didn't we just take Detroit?
Very possible. Very possible. I'm fine with it, dude. I'm fine. Like I don't it doesn't seem like you love the Rams. Buffalo, I think, is a little
I
too
just been I
risky
just been
with
sort
the
of burned.
injuries.
I just been sort of burned on the I've been
Let's take
sort
Detroit.
I've been sort of just burned on the on the Saints lately. Like every time I bet on or against them, they seem to just do the opposite of what I think it's gonna happen.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Let's take Detroit. I don't mind laying the 10. I'm not scared.
You're not
They're
scared?
not going to get taken by surprise again after last year. I feel like they overcorrect if anything.
Okay. So we have Green Bay -3, Pitt +3, Tampa Bay -5.5, Denver -5, Detroit -10.
Let's go. That's a
Okay.
fun list.
It's a fun. Well, at least we're rooting for some good teams in this one, defending
Yeah.
some bad teams. And we had a good win last week, which got us sort of back on track here, which was nice. We needed that. Also, our friends at Greg Morse Cards, make sure to check them out. Check out the QR code on the screen. You can go back to YouTube and watch the show, guys. It's on YouTube, my YouTube at Geoff Schwartz. It's on social media as well. Geoff Schwartz for that. It's very simple. Matt, what are your Thanksgiving plans, buddy?
Looking at this Reggie Miller card from 1990. We'll be here. I have RSV, so we'll be
Oh,
the three of us. Yeah, me and Jack.
did you order a turkey? Like, what do you do? Did your wife make a turkey? Does she cook?
I'm the cook. I
Okay.
can't taste currently, so we're deciding what we're doing. How about you?
What's like the LA thing to do on Thanksgiving? Like just
Drive with no traffic. Everyone's like, if you're staying, like you can get from Marina Del Rey to Silver Lake in 22 minutes.
okay. So Silver Lake is a new thing. Where is Silver Lake? That's not a thing that was there when I was growing up. That wasn't a place that.
It's east of Los Feliz. It's like
Still
Echo
not
Park
Los Feliz.
area.
Not okay. Echo Park. There we go.
It's in
Okay.
Hollywood, but further east.
Silver Lake was not a part of town when I was a kid. There was
It's
no
fun,
Silver Lake.
man. It's far as shit for me, but it is a lot of fun.
Silver Lake, interesting.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna fry a turkey like usual. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, it'll be a little cold, but we'll fry a turkey. I got a little bit of work in the morning, Fox Sports Radio, and Silver Lake. Here we go, Los Angeles. Okay, there's a Whole Food Market there, so now you know it's legit.
Yeah, it's
In between Little Armenia and Echo Park and Dodger Stadium.
yeah, right. That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's fun. One of these times I'll we can go out that direction. They have great
to
restaurants over there.
to do what?
I don't know. They have great restaurants on the west side.
It's not the, you consider that the west side?
No, I'm saying we don't have to
Oh,
cross the 10. We can
oh
hang
no,
out.
no.
We can hang out at Greg Morris
Oh,
Cards.
oh. When I go home, I don't cross the 10 unless I
No,
have to.
I don't cross
No,
10 ever.
there's no point. This will not even cross 10. It's more I cross the 405. Like I don't go at all if I don't have to go east of the 405. This
No.
is very specific for four people listening right now, an hour into the podcast. But if I can stay between the 405 and and like in the Los Angeles airport up to about the mountains, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's about good right there. All right,
Perfect.
we're good for the show. All right, big week. A lot of college football too. So go to my Twitter at Geoff Schwartz. I have some college football stuff for you guys as well. We'll be frying a turkey. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Hopefully you're able to be around friends and family, except Matt, who is too sick to do anything this weekend. Have a great week, guys. We back regular next Friday, I would imagine, with our NFL, because no weird games till like Christmas week is weird. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much set till then. So we'll be back next Friday, guys. Have a good one. Take care, everybody.
See you guys.